Hey and welcome back to Hoodie Style Channel. This episode will be entirely dedicated to clearing things up regarding the new Google Assistant integration with IFTTT, the so-called V2 or version 2, what it is and what it's not, but also how to get this new half-limping service running. So I wouldn't call this a real episode once again. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go ahead and watch the episode called Google Ruined IFTTT. The reason I decided to make another video on the subject is that there has been plenty of comments and questions regarding what can and cannot be done going forward. So we will try to unknot this subject as much as possible, and after this episode hopefully things will be clearer than Google's vision of the future. Let me start by saying that this thing has become a complete mess. Everything from the setup process to the applet creation and hoping that Google Home somehow picks up the applet as a device, to the extra delays before things trigger, the random issues with updating applets in IFTTT, how Assistant practically stays in limbo after the command is confirmed to run. And frankly, I'm getting tired of the whole process. It's nowhere as practical, straightforward, or cool as it used to be. And the road is filled with bugs. I'm hoping this is just a teething period and that things will be corrected with time. But man, oh man, is it frustrating. And let me be clear, I don't think this is IFTTT's fault at all. But it does make IFTTT much less useful than it used to be, and much less practical to use. Okay, so we've already talked about the limitations of the new integration in the last episode on the subject. There were a lot of comments and questions regarding Google Routines and how you can circumvent the disrupted custom commands on IFTTT, where you now have to say, "Hey Google, activate your scenario." And look, yes, it's true, you can circumvent this whole activate business. And to those of you who don't know how this works already, I will show you how, but this will only work for the official Google Assistant products. If you are running Google Assistant SDK, there is no way around things, because the SDK does not support Google Routines. So to recap, in the new IFTTT integration, you will have to say activate before your command. So if we have a custom command in IFTTT called turn off the kitchen lights, your command would have to be, "Hey Google, activate turn off the kitchen lights." If you are using an official Google Assistant product, you can add a Google routine with a custom voice command that in turn activates your IFTTT applet, and in this way totally circumvent the need to say activate before your command. In the same manner, you can also decide what the assistant will reply. So in a way, we can recover the natural speech that we used to have before the changes came. But let me once again repeat that if you're running the SDK, this will not work. The SDK does not support routines. Why? I have no idea. I have been trying to get an answer from Google for a long time, but it's like trying to talk to a whale. Actually, I think it's easier communicating with a whale. So my apologies to any whales whose feelings I just hurt. For those of you who wonder why not just connect, for example, your lights directly to your Google account, the simple answer is your device has to be supported by Google for that to work. If the service is not in the works with Google list, you're out of luck. So back to routines. This trick will recover the natural speech commands and responses, but the variable commands are all gone, no matter if you're using official Google Assistant products or not. There are no viable options that I know as of yet. There are no services that support Alexa word splitting, nor are there any IFTTT alternatives that support commands with variables for Google Assistant. So Alexa can't save you either. And Siri, well, let's let Siri play in her sandbox. Now let me show you how to set up the Google Assistant V2 integration in IFTTT and Google Home, and how you can do the circumventing we just talked about. Concisely, The new integration acts as a works with Google service. So you will add IFTTT to your Google Home account, and then in that service find the applets as devices that really are just scenarios. Then we can use routines to trigger those scenarios without directly calling our IFTTT applets. I will make this clearer in a second. As a tip, if you made an applet that Assistant doesn't recognize, try reconnecting to IFTTT in Google Home. Unfortunately, I found this to be necessary for every applet I have made. And I know, it's very frustrating. So start by going to the IFTTT website and create a new applet. We will use the new Google Assistant service, V2 of course. And once you press Activate Scene here, you will be presented with this Connect button. And if you press it, the only thing that will happen is that you will get a pop-up with instructions. So what we need to do is actually start up our Home app on our phone. Press the cog and scroll down to Works with Google. And here you just search for the IFTTT service. There you have it. Press it and you will be presented with this screen. Link an account to control IFTTT on any device. Continue, and you'll see this page where you have to authorize. So let's do that. And after a few seconds, you will be presented with this notification screen. And this is perfectly normal because we haven't started making any applets yet. And Google can't find those applets as devices or scenarios. So all we have to do is go back to our IFTTT account and start creating the applet. So let's do that. And this time we don't have the connect button anymore. If you get stuck in a loop where IFTTT shows you the connect button when you try to create the applet, even after you already connected to the service in Google Home, try this. If you don't already have it, download the IFTTT app on your phone and try the connect process entirely on your phone. If that doesn't work, or if you already have the IFTTT app, go to the profile section and then sign out. Restart the app and log back in with your Google account and try to create a new applet with the Google Assistant V2 service with your phone. If it says connect again, just press the button and reconnect. It will do that automatically, and that should solve the problem. Thanks to Dan on IFTTT for that workaround. So let's give the scene a name. Let's call it testing, create the trigger, and for that we can use a notification for this example. Let's just type notifications here. There we go. And send a notification from the IFTTT app that I have on my phone. All right. Create action, continue, and finish. And that's that. Nothing crazy so far, right? And now if we go back to our applets, you can see that the new applet is here and it's ready to be activated. Now let's see if we can start the applet in the normal manner that it was intended. Activate testing.
Sure, activating the testing.
Seems to work just fine. Now, if this didn't work for you, it might be because you need to reconnect your IFTTT service to your home account. Like I mentioned, I've had to do this after each applet I've created. And now let's try to circumvent the activate command by creating a routine. Go into your Assistant settings and press routines. Now there are some default routines here that you cannot delete. Never mind those. Let's just create a new one, add a starter, and here you can dictate what you want to say for this applet to start. I'm going to write "this works." So this will be our command. And as an action, you can go into Adjust Home Devices. So click that and then Adjust Scenes. And here is our applet. So mark that one and press Done. But we also would like a custom response. So add another action and press Communicate and Announce. And here you can make an announcement on the device that started the command, and you can just write whatever you want the assistant to respond. I will write something very nifty here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And done. And don't forget to press save. Now let's try to do this in the old school way. This works.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And there you have it. Hopefully we cleared up some of the questions without creating new ones. For us SDK users, I'm really not sure what the future holds, honestly. Google is really a mystery, and sometimes it feels like they just do things for the cause of change without a real goal or direction. There was a time when you could run a service somewhat similar to IFTTT locally with GBridge, but they plugged that hole some years ago. Anyway, that's all for this time. I'm off to fixing the upper panels on Project Elizabeth, and of course film the process for you as well. This is Hootie Style Channel, and I'll be seeing you for a real episode in the next video.